Welcome. We are here for Ashley's Heart Song on the Win-Win Women TV network. I am your host, Ashley Torian, and this is the place where we get out of the stress and back into our life, our body, and our business. When we tap into the song of our heart, that is when we master the mind and the stress that can steal our life. Welcome to today's show. We're going to be speaking about stress and the different phases that can happen in a year that can bring on even more, our reaction to all of that, and how when we simply take the time to nurture the stress that is in your body, you can release it. But before we get going further on the show, let's check in how we are now this week with our vitality score. Our vitality score is made up of the 4 aspects of us. We have our physical, our mental, our emotional, and our spiritual. And you will rate how you're doing in each category on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is the lowest, 10 is the highest. You feel really good. So let's start with mental vitality this week. Are you mentally clear and on point? That is a 10. Or are you a little sluggish of the mind? Can't quite think straight? That's going to score you below a 5, closer to a 1. Put down your score. Next up is your emotional health, emotional vitality. Where are you on the vitality score? Do you feel emotionally balanced, emotionally cheerful? That's going to score you above a 5 and close to a 10. Or if you feel a little imbalanced, a little edgy, a little off, then you could be scoring anywhere between that 1 and 5. Write down your score. Next up is your physical vitality. Physically, how are you this week? Do you feel physically strong, capable? You've got energy to get you through the day? Or do you feel like your body is just not quite together? It feels sluggish. It feels fatigued. Put your score down. Fatigued and sluggish is anywhere from 1 to a 5. And then the energy, the vitality feel of your physical body, mobile, flexible, strong, is from a 5 to a 10. Put down your score. Next is our it's spiritual vitality. Where are you this week? Spiritually, are you aligned? Are you connected? Are you taking time to connect and be in alignment? Anywhere on that scale from 1 to a 10, 1 being you are misaligned and 10 being you're so aligned. Anywhere in that spectrum. Now tally up all 4 scores. So your highest score would be a 10. And where are you? Your high score would be a 40, putting all 4 of those together. So where are you on that scale with your vitality? Are you scoring in the 30s, close to the 40, or are you below the 30? Wherever you are is just a message for you to see where you are and know what you can address. So anywhere along this vitality score that you scored low, I encourage you to simply set aside some time and work with that and build that score up. And after today's show, you're going to have a really good idea of how to tackle some of those. So let's get rolling. Those of you who are joining me live, welcome to today's show. I'm so thrilled that you are with me live today. And those who are on the replay, so happy you found it. So stress is real or imagined threat and our body's reaction to it. So it doesn't matter if it's real. It doesn't matter if we made it all up in our head. Our body, our brain interpreted it as a threat to your life and decided that you needed some extra chemistry, an extra little bit of oomph in order to survive this life-threatening, stressful situation that you've come upon. So we have phases in our year where we have more stress and less stress. So if you are watching this and it's during the fall, you are probably feeling the holiday come in. Kids went back to school, all of their activities picked up. The holidays are right around the corner. You're entering into them, and you start to feel it all in your body. And the reason why we begin to feel this in our body is because our mind interpreted something as a threat. Now, whether it was your conscious mind or your subconscious mind, only you will know that. If you were conscious of it, then it's your conscious mind. If you were not conscious of it, then it was your subconscious mind. So if you are finding yourself in the midst of this phase where you're feeling so anxious, stressed, tense, and you don't know why, then most likely it happened because of the subconscious mind was triggered. So in a nutshell, we store all of our experiences in the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind took all that information based off of all of the sensory data that was brought in that moment of time. And all that data that was brought in has been stored away, locked away, so that your brain could help you when it got into a similar situation. So it would know the exact recipe of chemicals that you need in order to survive that event. So as you're walking into one of these phases of the year, whether it's the springtime, the summertime, the fall time, it doesn't matter. Whenever you walk into one of those and you start to feel the little rush that comes in, you can thank your subconscious mind for holding on to that information from a previous experience that happened probably 20 years ago or so. Thank you, right? Because your brain is keeping up with what you need in any given moment to keep your physical body alive and ticking. And we're grateful for that until it doesn't really serve us. The way that we know that this doesn't serve us is when we start feeling those things in our body physically that chemistry is causing. So that chemistry dump over and over again is creating things like a rapid heartbeat, shortness of breath, tightness in the chest, maybe a little bit hard to breathe. Those who are in excessive stress will experience that. Maybe your blood pressure went up a little bit. Maybe you find yourself closet eating in order to feel better. Maybe you find yourself overeating in order to feel safer. Maybe you find yourself over exercising in order to burn all that energy and chemistry out of your body. Maybe you find yourself overdoing it on caffeinated beverages, sugary foods, in order to comfort you during this time. Maybe you are staying up late watching TV shows, movies, YouTube, whatever it could be, in order to get yourself to sleep. But instead of going to sleep, you end up staying up really late watching show after show after show. Then your circadian rhythm gets off. You begin sleeping late, you feel more sluggish, and then you stop exercising completely. You begin hydrating on coffee, caffeinated coffee, versus hydrating on water. Do you see where this is going? So when we allow this stress in our body to take over our lives, the end result is not a pretty picture. We begin shedding ourselves of the vibrant, healthy habits that we had spent so much time adopting into our daily life, that now we're shedding them and we're no longer doing them. And pretty soon they're going to be a distant memory, and you'll be 10 pounds heavier, and you will feel sluggish and tired. Your body will start aching. And then the stress is going to hit you in that condition on the next phase that comes around. And then can you only imagine how you will feel when that phase of stress is gone? Y'all, it's not a pretty picture, and it's a picture that just continues going down the spiral. We want to go up the spiral. So how in the midst of stress can we possibly go up the spiral? We can use stress as a stepping stone to get us to the next level, right? So typically when we are in that reactionary phase of stress, we can look at this and go, okay, consciously, what was I saying to myself just then? What was I just now speaking out loud in my head? And we can sometimes see that we stated a sentence that was below the line thinking, negative thinking, and we can correct that, turn it around, correct it, reaffirm ourselves in the positivity, and we can get going. But what if it's in that subconscious mind? If it's in the subconscious mind, then we're not aware of what that thought was. We only know that we feel anxious right now. What can we do about it? Well, there's many, many things you can do. You can get a love tuner whistle. Look those up, love tuner. I love it. It gets out, when you blow into it, it sends out the frequency of love, 528 hertz frequency. And you can blow that whistle over and over again, and it brings in a calming effect. Another thing I love about that whistle is that it helps in the expansion. So when we're under stress, I mentioned that we can breathe shallow or our chest gets tight and we don't breathe expansive enough. What the love tuner whistle does is it helps you expand your lungs. It helps stretch out those intercostal muscles of the ribs so that your lungs can expand, and the diaphragm expands even more, and it builds and tones that muscle and builds and tones the vagus nerve. So you are more conditioned to stay in that parasympathetic state versus the stress state. So that's one little tool that I love. And then another tool that I love is, of course, deep breathing and breathing techniques in variety, right? So we have the nasal breathing, we have the lion's breath, you have the deep diaphragmatic breathing, you have the different breathing counts, 6-3-9. I've gone over these in several other episodes. And so today is not the day I'm going through the details of those breaths, because you can easily look these up. I'm just calling out that you want to have like a toolbox of different breath work, so that when you find yourself moving into these stressful phases of the year, you can go, well, I know what my morning routine will consist of. 10 minutes of breathing exercises, right? So you change up your morning routine, include 10 to 15 minutes of breath work, the different levels of breath work, the varieties of breath, and that will help you to condition your body-mind complex. That vagus nerve gets toned to stay in that parasympathetic state, relaxed state of operation. So breath work is a big, big, big bonus. And I highly recommend 10 to 15 minutes of breath work only in the mornings. Yes, we exercise, we're deep breathing, but that's not the same. During stressful times, I have found that 10 minutes of breath work, only breath work, doing nasal breathing, compression breaths, the 6-3-9 diaphragmatic breathing. There is the, I don't want to say the name wrong, so I'm not going to say it, but there is a way of breathing that is all over the web. You'll find many different forms of breath, lion's breath, so many that you will be able to tap into to help you on that journey. All right, and then number 3 tool during this time, when you know that stress phase is coming in, a third that I find is just, y'all, it's the cherry on top. And it is the one thing that during these times, most people eliminate, because it's not an active type of activity. And when people are in stress and anxiety and angst, they want to move, right? That's why people go exercise. That's why they go do the breath work. That helps. Any of those activities is helpful because they're moving fast. Internal rhythm is moving fast, and that feels good to move. What I'm going to ask you to do is to go into stillness. Come home. Come back home and be still. Be in your physical body. The way that we nurture the times of stress in order to level up is we go into silence. We come home to ourselves and we connect. We get into alignment. We're in breath during that time, but you're also feeling the connection between your physical body, your soulful body, which is the mind, the heart, the emotional center, and the spiritual essence of who you are. Be still. And when you're in that stillness, you will find some beautiful things happening. Your connection to the creator of all things. You will find that. You will find that connection so much easier when you're still, when you're quiet, when you're nurturing the three parts of you. You will find that ease, the peace, the grace. The first 5 minutes of that stillness is you having ants in your pants wanting to jump out of the chair and get going. Your brain is going to be going, oh, wait, we got to go do this. Oh, wait, we got to go do that. But no, 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 no. We don't listen to that voice. We bring ourselves back to center, back to the heart. Breath work. Place your hands on your chest. Bow your head. Take that breath in. When you exhale, exhale everything that doesn't belong. See it as black smoke leaving your body. All the stress, all the muck, all the negativity, all the impossibilities. See them leaving with each breath that you exhale. And then when you finally exhale and it's clear smoke, then you simply just sit there at ease and breathe. Stay in tune with your breath. You can choose to say a mantra that's in your heart over and over again. You could simply visualize a beautiful light flowing down over you and in you. You could see that light washing you clean of anything else that doesn't belong, that could be stored away in a tiny pocket of your body. And you can practice keeping the mind clear and open so that you can wash the stress out of your body through the increased amount of oxygen that's coming in that will wash that out of your body. And when you get done with your stillness time, you will feel like a brand new person. Now, how long do you stay in stillness? If you are having light amounts of stress, 10 minutes will do you. If you're finding that phase of the year is really tense and really just like getting you really good, 30 minutes. It will take 30 minutes. And it is going to be 30 minutes that you will be so grateful for. Afterwards, you're going to feel so new, vibrant. Vitality will flow through you. When you begin to invest yourself into that stillness time, your stress level will be released. You will learn how to release it little bits at a time. Just chip it away, because during that 30 minutes, you are training your body-mind complex to reside in the parasympathetic state of operation. When you do this, you are conditioning, you're building, you're toning that ability within you that when you drop your keys, stub your toe, and bump your head, you don't go into a freak out dance. You actually just breathe and kind of giggle at yourself. And it happens little bits at a time. Because let's face it, you did not get to this level of stress eat over a short period of time or even easily. It built up. Remember the subconscious mind that I was talking about and all the things that are stored away in it? Well, that's been happening for several decades. And so you have some chipping away to do. So be patient with it. Nurture yourself during the time that you have this, and you will find yourself elevating exponentially forward in your life. All right, I did want to share some quick little tips with you that will help you when these behaviors that we have during this stressful time, these behaviors that come out, the 3 tips that I gave you are going to work wonders. But there's also that thing of food that I mentioned, and food can get a little wonky. And so I just want to spend a little moment with you around food when we are in these phases of stress. And I'm going to read you something that I wrote in my book. It's an ebook, and it's called Leap into the Holidays with Confidence. And it's all about that one phase of our year, which is that holiday time of year, when we tend to go off the charts with our eating programs. And so I just wanted to read this excerpt from it for you to kind of help you out with that. And it's the psychology behind how, why, and what we eat. There is no such thing as good food and bad food. Food has no moral value, y'all. Food is the nutritional needs of the body, energy, and fuel. Food is for the nutritional needs of the body, the energy we have, and the fuel that we need. The typical stance when food is viewed good or bad is for a person to see it as a reflection of him or herself. You are not bad for eating a certain food. We are bombarded by the media to seek a physical perfection that does not exist. You are already perfect without changing a thing. Our personal world creates our metabolic world. How you view yourself and how you operate your life, even during these phases of stress, determines how well and at what rate your body will burn the calories it needs for the energy you're providing it through food. Joyfulness burns a lot of the kilocalories, y'all. Gives you full digestive power. It utilizes the calories or energy. Joyfulness utilizes those calories for your highest good. When you're in a state of angry, sad, stressed, anxious, we burn little calories. So the caloric burn, when you're feeling angry and anxious, it probably feels like you did a whole lot, but it doesn't. The fuel that you gave it is stored as fat. That's the calories you ate, is stored as fat. And your body mobilizes lean tissue for energy. So in the joyful state, you mobilize fat. And in the stress state, in the angry, anxious state, you store fat. Your relationship with food is connected to the rest of your life. How you are in any area of your life is reflective of your relationship with your food, with yourself. So during these phases of stress, we must take ownership of what is really happening within us and what our external needs really are. And the external needs we're thinking we need and thinking we want, thinking we desire, thinking we deserve is always opposite of what we are truly needing to be nurtured by. So if we ever feel that we need something, we deserve something, we desire something, typically it's going to work against you. And I'm talking about the realm of the food, meaning If you feel you deserve a piece of chocolate cake because you've been so good, or that was really hard, that was super stressful, I deserve a chocolate cake, then that cake is going to store as fat and you're going to use your lean tissue for burning. However, y'all, it's just such a beautiful shift. If you see that chocolate cake and go, oh, that looks really good, my mouth is kind of watering. I love chocolate cake. And I feel so much love in my heart right now that I feel in full digestive power. I am in relaxation. I can eat some of that cake. So you get a piece of cake. When you're in the joyful state and you go and have cake, you're not going to eat the whole thing. You're going to eat just a little bit of it because you're only going to feed yourself what you need in that moment, what feels good, what's delectable, what is pleasurable in that moment. But if we come from it, from this phase of stress where we're anxious and we go, I deserve that, this has been a really hard time, then it's just not going to do you any good, y'all. So if you really want that cake and you feel you deserve it, then get into that joyful state, the joyful heart, take it on, y'all. Wear it, feel yourselves dancing with joy, singing together, bumping into each other in a joyful dance. You want to feel it inside your body, joyful, 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 then you can have a bite of that cake. That is how we master the stressful eating. But it's got to be real. It can't be pretend. You can't go, okay, I'm filled with joy, I'm going to eat this cake. No, no, no. It really has to be like your cells are dancing, bumping into each other, singing a joyful song. That's really what it has to feel like on the inside of your body in order for you to be in that state. Okay, so much fun, y'all. I love this so much. So we're taking ownership. We are taking ownership and responsibility for what we are choosing to do with our diet during these stressful phases of life. This is going to bring so much empowerment to you. Empowerment in the way you nurture your body with food, exercise, sleep, hydration, pleasure, positivity. You'll nurture yourself with the stillness that I recommended. You'll begin nurturing yourself with more breath. Take ownership during this time, during these phases of stress. When you take ownership for your body and how your body-mind complex is in reaction to the stress, and you take ownership of that and begin nurturing yourself and nurturing what's happening within you and transforming it, that's going to bring you so much power, so much empowerment, and level you up more and more every single day. Y'all, I am thrilled that you joined me for this episode of Ashley's Heart Song. What a fun episode to learn more about how we are and how we can be more triumphant through those stressful phases of our life. If you have any feedback for me or any questions for me, you can always reach out to me through this, through the where you watch this, through the app, YouTube app, whether it is on the placeholder at the end of this show. If you're watching the replay, there is going to be a placeholder that has how you can connect with me. And please tap into that and ask me any questions in order to help you along this journey in this phase of stress that you could possibly be in. All right. Join me next week as we continue to armor up our lives. I look forward to seeing you then.